Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas indeed.
I'm Wild Man Wes.
I'm Hefe.
And welcome to a special edition of What's Your Poison? Well, we decided we were going to do a 25th out of those 24 beers of Christmas. And we actually have something from Obscurity Brewing.
Obscurity Brewing came out with a very fun little set of beers. And these are the Island of Misfit beers.
Oh, ain't that cute. So
overall, they basically took 4 of the characters out of the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer classic movie. This beer was actually in the Obscurity Brewing and Lodi Tap House advent calendar, which was a huge surprise to us because this was going to be our little gift to you.
Yeah, we were being very, very timid about doing the spoiler alert, but we were just like, you know what? This one, obviously, we already know what the rating is on that, so we're going to do that one first, obviously. But moving on to 2 through 4.
Absolutely. So we are going to start with the first one here and go on to the second one, which of course is
Hermie.
Hermie, the elf who wanted to be a dentist, and then going on to Santa, and then Rudolph himself. We'll go into each beer individually when we get to them, but we're gonna
do something different.
Absolutely.
Because normally we've been doing a lot of movie reviews, but in this case, a lot of people have probably seen this movie, and maybe some of the newer generations haven't seen this one in particular, because you can't go wrong with Rankin-Bass. You just can't.
It's true. So instead of doing a scene-by-scene plot summary of how the movie goes, we're going to talk about how each character influenced the story differently, and obviously what their true Christmas passion brought to the story of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
I'm loving the sound of this. Let's get to it. So for round 1, we are going to be going back into time on our beer reviews, and we're going to be talking about Yukon Cornelius.
Yukon Cornelius was a veteran miner who was always looking for gold or silver, and he could taste it in the ground. The fun part about him was when they ran into him, they were lost. They didn't know where to go. They didn't know how to carry on, and the whole world was so big and scary to them. But not to Yukon Cornelius. That's why we think that Yukon Cornelius brought the power of courage to the rest of the cast.
He was the 1960s Cowardly Lion, except he didn't have any cowardice in him.
He had no cowardice. This guy, he knew...
But he had the beard.
He had the beard.
I think, obviously, there's a bunch of Yukon Corneliuses in this room right now.
I really enjoy this. I really enjoy how the picture of him is him just about to lick his pickaxe, where he goes, nothing. After he picks it in the ground, because he's looking, he knows the taste. He knows the taste.
Oh,
it's so
man.
funny. So yes, we already have had this one. We already know it's really interesting sweetness that lingers there. That maple really kicks it up a notch.
That sweet potato aroma is amazing.
Keeps it real. Oh. That's for dang sure.
We don't really have to talk about a rating on this one because we already did it.
Yeah, it's pretty true. Yeah.
So we can just kind of reminisce on little funny moments of the movie.
Mm-hmm. So I think one of the characters that was not really discussed much in general, especially as one that really affects the plot, because he's really just the antagonist. It's the Abominable Snowman.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, he poses a threat, and his size really changes throughout the movie. Right at the beginning, when they show him walking past Donner and Rudolph, when he's teaching him how to be a reindeer, his legs are enormous. It's like the size of this tree, and like we're the deer. But then, of course, as the movie goes on and they show you a little more close-ups, his legs are definitely kind of stubby. He's not necessarily that enormous, but I think it's all about a forced perspective at that point. But he was interesting because they had introduced him as the character the Abominable Snowman, who hated everything about Christmas and everything it stood for.
So, this was 1964. Grinch came out in 1966. Now, the book came out prior, but I'm wondering
on the timeline of that myself.
Yeah, I mean, in animation quality, did the Abominable Snowman become before the Grinch, or was the Grinch before the Abominable Snowman? Even though we know the years, but obviously, Rankin-Bass kind of took a little idea from Theodore Geisel himself, as well as Chuck Jones later. Well, I mean, no, Chuck Jones actually kind of took
Dr. Seuss.
Yep, Chuck Jones took a little bit of inspiration out of probably the Abominable Snowman just because of the facial expressions.
And the fact that he's covered in hair and hates everything about Christmas.
Indeed.
So, that is just another fun character. The horrible elf work boss to...
Oh.
What a jerk. We could probably talk a little bit more about him when we get to Hermie, but just what an absolute horrible man.
Yeah.
Like, so unaccepting.
I think I've worked for people like that in my past.
I'll drink to that.
Amen.
Woo!
Well, makes you feel like a man doing that there.
Still getting a lot of that maple right there, I tell you what. And that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, from something hearty, let's go to something a little more timid.
And innocent.
Yeah. So for our second beer, we have Hermie.
Hermie! So this one is a Belgian red, which is just like the other one. Full of holiday flavors with local brewer roasted artisan coffee.
Ooh, coffee.
I mean, I like me a coffee beer. I think this will be interesting. I've had a coffee blonde. I've had a coffee stout. Never had a coffee Belgian red. This is definitely
Me either.
I can smell that from here. Smell that coffee?
Best part of waking up is obscurity in your cup.
I would be curious as to where they got these coffee beans. I'm sure it says locally roasted, so I'm going to guess that it's somewhere around them.
I'm sure with the smell of it, they'll probably give Juan Valdez a run for his money.
Mmm. So this is also 6.8
Oh,
ABV.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mmm.
Interesting.
Mm.
Interesting. It's not as strong. No. It was stronger from the opening of the can, but like, it's not as strong in the glass. But I am curious.
With one of the notes, I'm wondering if it's a hint of maple or hazelnut.
That maple might just be from our taste buds from the last beer.
No. I mean, we washed these glasses.
Yeah. But I just mean on our taste buds.
No, I'm talking about the nose.
I know, but your taste buds go all the way back.
But it's not. I mean, it's like there's a hint, but it's more like a hazelnut. I don't know. It's a sweeter. It's a sweeter.
Let's give it a shot.
All
right. Super coffee. Holy cow! Like that's surprisingly coffee.
This
tastes like iced coffee. Like an iced black coffee. That's how I do it, like a cold brew.
And 6.8 ABV?
Yeah.
Hey.
That's super thin. Actually,
one hell of a coffee.
It's a little bit lighter in the mouthfeel than the last one. I feel like it's just that there's not a lot of sweetness. Any sweetness that I am getting is from the yeast itself. Like that's where that Belgian characteristic's coming from. But the coffee is super prominent. I did not expect it to be that strong. I mean, like I thought it would be stronger on the smell than in the taste, but holy cow! So man,
I'm gonna give this one nice.
I mean, I'll say nice.
Yeah, I mean it's like
I'll say nice. It's a nice beer. It's really interesting.
I mean, like we've talked about the coffee stouts we've had before, or coffee porter.
Sure.
I mean, just coffee blondes. I mean, this one not bad.
It's really not. It's definitely very, very tasty.
Yeah, it is tasty. I mean, I'm wondering if the coffee bean or whatever, like this, the flavoring might be a little too rich. Slightly. Not the sweetness rich, but more just like that after effect on the mouthfeel. It's just kind of like
that richness of the coffee.
It's drying out the tongue a little bit.
Yeah, that richness of the coffee right at the finish there. I totally understand what you mean, yeah.
So I'm going to give that a nice. It's nice.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. It's a nice beer.
I mean, I could probably have it again.
Agreed. Whereas the last one, I could really only have one. This one, I could have more than one, I think.
We need to talk a little bit more about Hermie.
Yes, so Hermie himself. When we talk about his influence into the movie, the movie really did a good job at starting off with kind of introducing the different characters that we were going to be dealing with when it comes to protagonists. And the Hermie story started with him working on toys in the workshop. And the very first thing, we mentioned this in the last beer a little bit, but his boss was just absolutely terrible.
He was a dick!
oh, Herbie doesn't like to make toys. So he's literally shaming him for not liking to make toys, and then the rest of the workforce is bullying him because he doesn't like to make toys.
Yeah, and don't they ever they have to have a meeting about that every year, once a year, about harassment and bullying. But you know,
sensitivity training.
Yeah, but they're not union either, so you know.
That's true. Yeah, that's why they can absolutely abuse him. It's terrible.
Assholes.
Yeah. So anyway, the motivation that he brings into the story is that of his own self-driven motivation. So that self-driven motivation, he gives Rudolph the confidence to be able to pursue his dream, which is Rudolph's dream of being on Santa's crew. He wants to be on Santa's crew so bad. He knows he's different, but he really feels like he can give him exactly what he needs. And him following his dreams of being a dentist of all things, which, can we just talk about the irony of that?
Yeah.
So, isn't it like the most, like the highest rate of suicide is those who are in the career path of dentistry? That's a little weird.
I mean, we're totally going off topic with, you know, Christmas and holidays. I always think of the original MASH. Painless Paul, the dentist who, you know, is having issues with love, and he decides he's going to commit suicide.
Yeah.
Even though they pull a fast one on him, he survives and has a happy day.
Happy day.
Happy day. You know, and Hermie, he had a happy day too.
I feel like he did too. I don't feel like Hermie ever really gave up. He didn't give up on his dreams, and at the end, he got exactly what he had hoped, which was to frickin' get revenge on his old boss. Oh, that was hilarious at the end. It was a great full circle moment where he's like, okay, you're right, kind of thing. But absolutely. So, yeah, Hermie is definitely the motivated character, teaching Rudolph the importance of being motivated with your own dreams.
Yeah. Well, while we're finishing up this one, stay tuned. We still got 2 more to go. We'll be right back. So for round 3, we have Santa.
Santa Claus.
Papa Chicho. Oh, you can tell we're toasty already, folks. Well, tell us about the beer here, Hefe.
Holy cow! So this is also a Belgian red at 6.8 ABV, and this one has holiday flavors of peppermint and chocolate.
Oh,
that's exciting.
Yes, it is.
That's very exciting.
I mean, for a Belgian, right?
Absolutely.
That's like...
First off, chocolate is always really tough for me to deal with if it's not in a stout. That body type and the mouthfeel of a stout more so welcomes a chocolate flavor. I had a white chocolate IPA that was horrible.
You told me about this before. What I'm wondering about this is because, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of Belgian reds are brewed with cherries.
Not necessarily.
But
fruits, yes.
Yes.
Okay, I was like, not necessarily cherries, but yes, fruits that they are fermented with. That way, the sugars, because before they knew what yeast was, the sugars from the fruits is what was causing the alcohol in the beer. So yes, those original ones.
So what I'm thinking of is most of us that have had chocolate-covered fruits, especially chocolate-covered berries, I'm wondering, is this going to taste like a...
That peppermint, I think, is really going to be powerful.
Okay.
I think. We don't know. Let's find out. Nothing yet. Hold on. Yep, looks like the rest.
Okay.
To see how that goes. All right. I mean,
a little more on the amber side.
The consistency of the color of the beer and the body is definitely there. They all look very similar. This is a little darker, a little more cloudy. Mm-hmm. Now, it says peppermint
with chocolate.
And chocolate. So let's give it a sniff.
Very heavy on the peppermint.
Yep.
Hints of chocolate, we can do the 3.
Man.
Small hints.
Small hints, but that peppermint, that's definitely there. I'm really curious if this is going to taste like tea. I'm really curious if it's going to be like
It's got the consistency.
Yeah, so, jingle jangle.
Jingle jangle.
Super pepperminty. not getting a lot of chocolate. Maybe creaminess in the mouthfeel, but it definitely, I'm getting that peppermint tea.
Santa,
taste.
I love you, but you were an asshole in the movie, and you're an asshole with this. This one, total naughty. Oh. Naughty!
Oh, he went there.
Yeah. I went there, man. I didn't deserve this coal. I'm gonna still drink it just because, you know...
Oh my.
I still love you, but...
Oh my.
You were mean to Rudolph. You're a jerk. You knew he was different ever since he was a little kid. And then all of a sudden, oh, I need you for your nose. You want to know why? Because it's for my convenience that was inconvenienced with the fog. It's okay, Charlene. You can go back to your stable.
Charlene? Your high horse?
My high horse.
You didn't share your moment with Charlene? I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of myself, too.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. This is not a great beer. I'm gonna give it a naughty as well. I mean, I really don't know how to take this. The peppermint.
This tastes like one of those dissolvable, like, what, Listerine strips.
A little bit.
God.
This tastes like I brushed my teeth before I drank a beer.
Was I that bad this year? This is like getting the 2009 Friday the 13th on DVD in my stocking. What the fuck, man?
I know.
I know.
Okay. I'm sorry, Santa. But very much like your personality in the movie at the beginning, you're an asshole.
Capital ass.
So, the very important role that Santa brought to the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer film was that of acceptance. Just like how we accept that we are going to finish this beer, Santa accepted that even though Rudolph was different, he was going to be so much more special than any of the other reindeer ever could be. And not just because he ran into a problem, but because he was literally blinded, not by the fog, but by his ignorance, in not accepting what greatness Rudolph brought to the team.
Santa, you may be an asshole, but I accept you.
Accept you.
Oof.
Alright.
Alright, let's just get this shit over so we can do the last one.
And for our final beer today, we are going to have Rudolph. Now, Rudolph is a Belgian red made with cinnamon and cranberry. Now, I'm going to be 100% honest about this. Cinnamon and cranberry very much fit the Belgian red style. So I think of all of the Belgian reds that the Island of Misfit beers came from, this is probably going to taste the most natural. I'm very excited about it.
I'm excited just because we're going to have something probably better than what we had. Last round. Oof.
Yikes. Okay, point being, I'm excited about this beer, but it is also very important to point out that because it's Rudolph, it's also the most important beer of the quadruped. Is that right?
See what you did there?
The quad? Kind of, yeah.
The quadra beer.
The quadra beer. Now, Rudolph himself is literally every dork out there.
Just like us.
Exactly. Now, there is a lot to see. Oh my goodness. Now, time out real quick. Time out. I gave you the bottom of the glass. Yours is a lot darker than mine.
Isn't that how it normally is?
But this is significant. I don't know if you can tell on screen.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Look how significant that is.
That's thick.
That's thick. Huh. Mine looks a lot lighter than that. Now, who knows? Hopefully that's not a bad sign. Point being, Rudolph is the most important character of the story. Obviously, it's the name of the story, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Now, what he brings...
the cinnamon already.
Oh, yeah. What he brings to the story is that of perseverance. He has been shamed for who he is since the day he was born.
On the day he was born.
By his own father. And then, followed very shortly by Santa Claus himself.
The balls on that guy!
Diak!
Diak!
Asshole!
Asshole!
Ugh.
So, Rudolph, made with cinnamon and cranberry. Jingle jangle, my friend. Let's see how it goes.
Jingle jangle.
I just get a little the sweetness right out of the
Yeah.
nose, yep.
Hint of
Oh,
sour.
yep, and when you take a deep breath in, you get that cinnamon. Here we go.
There we go. Wow.
This blends very nicely to me. I don't know what yours tastes like, because yours looks completely different.
Sour.
I get a little tart, yeah, from the cranberry for sure.
Hint of cinnamon.
A little bit.
Actually, I'm getting a lot of cinnamon, but I'm not saying that in a bad way.
Might we trade glasses for a sec?
No Kovo.
Holy crap!
Yeah, we're drinking
Yours is
different.
way different! Whoa, this is weird! Oh man!
We just went through a parallel universe.
Mine's more cranberry, his is more cinnamon. This is weird!
Yours is more of a lager. Mine's more of a sour.
This is so weird. This literally came out of the same can, and they gave us two different beers.
and they're both great.
This is cranberry, this is cinnamon. This is the very first time I've ever seen anything like this. This is the exact same beer coming from the same can, and you have two different beers. We have to mix them.
Yeah.
So now, what you have left and what I have left are going to go... I'm the cranberry, he's the cinnamon. This is so... I have never seen anything
Just
like
say
this.
what you're meaning.
I've never, ever seen anything like this in my fucking life. Like, I have drank a lot of beer, and I have never seen one can pour two beers. This is messed up.
You got cranberry in my cinnamon.
You got cinnamon in my cranberry. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is a more cohesive... Look at that!
Wow.
It looks totally the same now.
With your powers combined, I am Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Apparently. Okay, this is a Christmas miracle. I'm telling you. Christmas miracle. One can of beer gave us two beers that we had to... I'm sorry. I am flabbergasted
I'm right
at this
there
point.
with you, dude.
Okay, so I had to get up in the middle of filming to get two new glasses. This is supposedly the beer that they intended.
Oh,
so let's see what happens.
Oh,
jingle, jingle. Wow.
I'm giving up drinking.
This is the naughtiest beer of all time. This is so good. This is absolutely everything I could ever want in a Christmas beer. Oh my god. This blows my mind.
Pepe, you mentioned perseverance.
Yes.
We persevered after Santa's beer.
Yes.
And we got the glory. We escaped the island of misfit beers.
Yes. Thank you, Rudolph.
Thank you, Rudolph.
Holy cow. This is an extremely well-blended beer. Once you blend the beer that's in the can that was blended of a beer, this is still...
I know.
How...
We gotta freeze the rest of this.
We gotta freeze this beer and melt it in springtime and drink it?
Yes.
I'm not kidding you. This cracks me up. So, my guess is what happened is that after this beer was made and after it was packaged, the cinnamon of the beer hit the bottom of the can. That's my guess. Because then as you're pouring it, you're pouring out the cranberry part, and I gave him a little bit, but then I ended it on his. So all the cinnamon had to have gone in his glass. Some of it blended, but this... Thank you. This beer is different than the beer that we initially poured. We had to mix the two glasses to get what they wanted, and I am so happy. Which only tells me that if they had this on tap, that they'd probably have to mix the keg a little bit. So it kind of acts like a glitter beer in a sense. That salmon doesn't seem to dissolve; it just goes into the beer.
I mean,
this,
literally,
look at this.
It could pass as that glitter beer.
This is so tasty. The flavors extremely well blended with what the Belgian Red brings to the table. And I'd honestly say better than any of the other 3 beers. This is the best of the 4. 100%. I really hope they make this one again.
Yeah.
This is a fantastic brew. Thank you, Obscurity Brewing.
Yeah. Are they still selling these?
Who knows? Like, you'd have to look into... I don't know if they ever kegged it. I think they only made it for the 4-pack. So these 4-packs came with one of each of the 4 Misfit of Island beers. And this, I don't know. I'd have to go to the brewery itself just to see if they actually kegged it, but I highly doubt it. Honestly, I think all of it went into canning. That's my guess. That's just from a commercial standpoint of how to sell a beer like this. This is literally, they're selling it with the idea of, hey, check it out, these characters. Hey, check it out, Island of Misfit beers. Very, 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 very tasty. Of all the 4, this is definitely the best. This is the naughtiest beer that I've had this Christmas. This is fantastic.
We didn't end with a lump of coal.
Absolutely not. Thank you. No good to you, Santa!
Amen to that, jerk. See you next year.
Merry Christmas!
But apart from that, we hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure you leave a thumbs up. Leave a thumbs down if you've actually had this 4-pack and, you don't agree with us, or maybe you do. Hopefully you do agree with us. Other than that, make sure that you share on social media. And as always, it's still the season of giving. So,
of course it is.
So make sure you push that red button. And don't forget to ring the bell for instant notifications on Dragonfire Entertainment. Man, we're moving on to 2021.
2021, here we come.
We got a lot in store for you. Both on Dragonfire Entertainment and also, I haven't done it for a while and I feel stupid about it.
It's fine.
Hey, shut up. This is your Christmas present. At least one of them. Make sure you check out Beer You, Beer Me. Seriously, I mean, like I've said before, if it weren't for Hefe here, I honestly wouldn't be as educated on beer as I was before. I mean, most of the time I just go to a tap house and say, give me your best. Now I actually look for things that I actually like. And Merry Christmas.
Thank you, brother. Merry Christmas.
And Merry Christmas to all of you. I'm Wildman West.
And I'm Hefe.
And we'll see you next time. Take care, and Happy New Year.